All right, folks. Powered Cube Draft back on Arena. We're running it. Let's go. Pack 1, pick 1. Ooh, pretty pulled to this Flooded Strand. Don't judge me too harshly, by the way. I've done a lot of Vintage Cube on MTGO in the past, but this Powered Cube Draft is a slightly different beast. I'm gonna do my best. Well, that's to be honest, I can't say that. I'm gonna draft a deck that I like, and that's just part of it. Part of the fun of doing the Powered Cube Draft is trying to make something that you find enjoyable work. So for me, that's pack 1, pick 1 Flooded Strand. Part of the reason for that being I like to end up in multiple colors typically. A lot of really good options to follow up a Flooded Strand here, though. Reanimate's pretty interesting, but Swords to Plowshares and Solitude are kind of huge, as well as Force of Will, pretty decent, obviously. Pretty decent. I think Swords to Plowshares is more likely to make more of my decks. I don't really feel any problem picking that here. Pack 3. A little harder. Prismatic Vista. Can't really go wrong with Prismatic Vista. There's also Upheaval. Maybe a little too early for Upheaval. Not enough clear direction. Pretty happy with the Vista, I think. Tinker. Pretty early Tinker, actually. There's also an Emrakul that could wheel. Well, probably not going to wheel, but there's also an Emrakul. What could wheel here? Maybe the Unexpectedly Absent eventually. Let's just take the Tinker. We ball. Days Undoing. Legend of Karuk is probably pretty solid, to be honest. Kind of in any deck. I'm going to skip on the Palantir. Not much else going on in this pack, really. What does this card do? Create blood tokens. I mean, blood tokens could be relevant with a Tinker plan. Card quality overall is just kind of okay. I kind of like the Legend of Karuk. We don't necessarily have to be all in on Tinker quite yet, but there is a Golos, Tireless Pilgrim. Decent Tinker target, and also a pretty good 5-color pile card, which I do love to play a 5-color pile. Nothing else particularly pulling me any direction here. Might Stone and Weak Stone, not my favorite card in the world, but not awful. Spell Pierce. Nethergoyf. Nethergoyf kind of interesting. Would play kind of nicely with Swords to Plowshares and Legend of Karuk. In just like an Esper sort of mid-range list. Bone Shards. I think I'm going to take the Golos. YOLO the Golos, that's what I say. Pinnacle Emissary. Vivi. We don't really have a good way to set up Vivi Cauldron quite yet. Not really in the colors for it. Pretty inclined to play this Swords to Plowshares anyway. Could just grab a Wanchitong. Kind of solid. Could just do Azorius Control. There's also the Tidebinder. Bolas' Citadel, Tinker. How can you break this? Play lands and spells from the top of your library. Pay life. Sacrifice 10 non-land permanents. Each opponent loses 10 life. I think I'm just going to take the Wanchitong. Seems solid. Cosmogrand Zenith is something I'm pretty inclined toward. There's also Thundertrap Trainer. Fresh Start. We could just do like a cool sort of like Azorius mid-range list. Keep it tight on the curve. Jace the Mind Sculptor, pretty good follow-up to that. I mean, wow. Really strong pack in general. Jace, Time Warp, and Mystic Confluence. Kind of feels like we're in the right color at the very least. You don't usually see this many blue cards wheeling. Time Warp, kind of great. I mean, you could just like flash in a big Wanchitong and then Time Warp to kill your opponent over the course of 2 turns. Jace also pretty good. I mean, Time Warp plays nicely if we're doing like creature stuff. Seems like it would play nicely with Legend of Karuk as well. I think I'm going to go Time Warp. Is that crazy? A Johnny? I mean, we're definitely in the right colors, it feels like. A Johnny could play pretty nicely. There's also Portable Hole. Good cheap removal. let's go for the portable hole. I think overall we'll be happy to have more cheap removal in our deck than a maybe playable Planeswalker for this batch of cards. We'll take the Solitude. Feels like we're in the right colors for sure. I tend to not play like hard control with this color combination though. I tend to play more of like a tempo build if I can help it. But we'll play what we get. Upheaval. Meh. I think I'll just take the Bleachbone Verge. Also an Overgrown Tomb. Could still think about the Golos idea. There's Leyline and Binding. We're kind of far from that being good, I think. Well, I guess if we get like one off-color Tri-land, it could be good. There's also Days Undoing if we manage to find Narset. I'll take the Nethergoyf. I don't think either of these will make it. We'll probably end up playing a Tishana's Tidebinder, though. Pack 2 here. Lage. Titan of Fire's Fury. Not a whole lot for us. Oust is okay. Multiversal Passage, pretty decent. Anything from other colors that's particularly strong? We could think about Flage. Generally a pretty strong card, I think. Not too hard to enable. Would play nicely in just a Jeskai mid-range sort of build. Pitches to Solitude. There's really nothing else that's particularly good for us here, I think. I'm gonna spec on the Flage being a possibility. Ocelot Pride is going into my deck. Yep. I'm an Ocelot Pride believer, especially if we're more aggressively curved in general, with things like Cosmic Grand Zenith and Tishana's Tidebinder. We just play more of a proactive tempo plan. Could also get Containment Priest for that matter. Baleful Strix also kind of interesting. We have this Bleachbone Verge. I think I'm going to go with the Containment Priest. Seems pretty good. Probably give up on the Tinker idea here. Probably give up on the Flage idea if we're doing the Containment Priest thing. Actually, no, I guess it doesn't stop it. Yeah, okay. Give up on the Nethergoyf. We might think about Flage still if we manage to pick up enough lays to support it. But otherwise, I kind of like this start. Days Undoing is uncertain. Pretty happy with a lot of these picks here, actually. For me, Ancient Tomb. I mean, we're not like a great Ancient Tomb deck, but generally Ancient Tomb is just so strong. We have a lot of... We have a good chunk of 4 drops and 5 drops to support Ancient Tomb being decent, Wanchi Tong. But there are also a lot of other pretty powerful cards for us here. Namely, like Fairy Mastermind. Malcolm's okay. Ancient Tomb is just kind of a free include, especially if we're in 2 colors, though. Turn 2 Cosmic Grand Zenith, right? I think I'm gonna go with the Ancient Tomb here. Show and Tell. Otawara. I'm kind of happy with Otawara here. Not much to think about. Oko. Well, yeah, I could splash green for Oko. Would fit our deck quite nicely. There's also Wrath of God. I'm not sure that we need to worry about that too much. Stern Scolding. I'm a big sucker for Bant mid-range like this in these cubes. And Oko seems like worth a splash if we manage to pick up a Temple Garden or something like that, or a Breeding Pool. There's also just Wrath of God, though. I'm going to grab the Oko. YOLO. Subtlety. Anointed Peacekeeper. Ephemerate. Well, we have Solitude, so Ephemerate seems like a worthy pickup. Prismatic Ending, also pretty nice. Yeah, seems better than pretty much everything else going on here. Duelist of the Mind. Hazaret. Saz's Chocobo. I guess we just take the Duelist, but I don't think it's going to make the list, really. Alright, Willow Rush Verge. Pretty free for us. Helps us with this Oko Splash idea. It naturally tapping for blue helps a lot. Fast Spawn, Nettle Cyst. How about Sin Spira? How about Sin Spira's Punishment? Sin Spira's Punishment. Flood Farm Verge. Sure, I think that's probably better than Timeless Dragon. Grab a Nissa, I suppose. Wow, Wrath of God. Yeah, I think so. Whoa, Springheart and Antuco made it all the way around? These people don't know. Mox Ruby, Strip Mine. Luris. March. I mean, it's either Mox Ruby or Mox Ruby, kind of, I think. I'm not sure that you can make a strong enough argument for Strip Mine for this list. It's interesting. Outside of that, I mean, it's kind of funny that you have Crucible and Strip Mine in the same pack here. We're probably not getting enough value out of Luris. We might be able to think about making him a companion, though. Probably not. Let's just go with Mox Ruby. It plays kind of nicely with Cosmic Grand Zenith, too. Hole Breacher. It's fine. I mean, it's another Flash body, which is kind of nice, contributing to this overall game plan. I also don't mind the Aang's Iceberg, perhaps. Volcanic Island is interesting. I don't think we're really thinking about the Flage anymore. I'm not sure that how good actually is Hole Breacher in this cube. You know, I think I might just prefer to have a general answer. Phantasmal Image, Flash. Flash is busted. Hollowed Fountain, also pretty good, though. I don't think anything else here is particularly calling to me. I think I'll just take the Hollowed Fountain. Fractured Identity is generically quite good. Quantum Riddler, also generically quite good. There's also a Misty Rainforest, which finds Hollowed Fountain and is a green source for Oko. I mean, this is a good pack. What's likely to wheel? There's a chance Esper Sentinel wheels, I suppose. Quantum Riddler, generically quite good with Ephemerate. Kind of gives us a good top-end plan. I think I'm just going to take the Riddler. Seems good. We don't really have a lot of ways to, like, interact on the stack. Well, there's an Uro. But No More Lies is pretty good, too. I mean, we're already splashing for green. This Lush Portico might wheel. Actually, a lot of decent lands for us here. Oh, not the Raffin's Tower. I thought this was the Bant one. Restless Prairie. I think I'm going to go Uro here. It's interesting. Godless Shrine. Double green is going to be a little tough to be able to escape it, probably. Maybe something to consider. I'll take the Miscalc. It's playable. Restless Vine Stalk makes our green splash a little better. Trinket Mage to find a Mox Ruby. Colonnade. Shelldock Isle. I don't think we're that much of a Shelldock Isle deck. I don't think we have enough grind necessarily. We're trying to be a little more proactive. Just take the Vine Stalk here. I kind of like what we've got so far. I wouldn't mind finding like a breeding pool still, or a temple garden. Or, you know, if that Lush Portico wheels, I'll feel pretty good about the green splash. In Dotha Triome, I mean, Scythecat Cub is a card. Still, our green splash is not perfect quite yet. Could just be worth taking the Archive to have a Surveil land to fetch for. Yeah, I don't know. I kind of feel weird about that, but we'll take that. Consider maybe. I'm not sure that we're a Samwise deck. I mean, it's like a Samwise. You play Samwise with Strip Mine, right? That's kind of the idea. I think we'll skip on it. Could take Luris. I think I'll just take the Consider. Double spells for Cosmic Grand Zenith, pretty good. Well, it's not the Jace. I guess Haywire Might could be okay. Maybe the Undercity Sewers. Maybe we think about the Golos idea a little bit. P-Image. P-Image could be playable. Fractured Identity. I'm pretty happy to get the Fractured Identity, I suppose. Restless Prairie or No More Lies. Or Delighted Halfling. I'm going to go with the No More Lies here. Restless Prairie. Change my mind. Godless Shrine. Restless Fortress. Okay. Well, this is what we've got. I'll go ahead to make my deck here. Skip into that. Yeah, I think I'm just going to run it like this. I haven't really touched anything. These are pretty much just the cards I drafted. I guess you could call it Azorius or Bant Control almost, although we don't have great ways to interact on the stack necessarily. Just one miscalc. A lot of removal. Kind of creature light, but we do have an Oko here. Legend of Karuk kind of counts. Should be interesting. Let's run it. All right, on the draw game 1. Ruby, Riddler, Uro. Good mana. Definitely going to keep this. Ancient Tomb. I think we can just lead on a Restless Prairie here and plan to go turn 2 Uro. Cycle a Troll of Khazad Dûm. I wonder what my opponent's up to. Grabs a Watery Grave. Pass back to me. Sorry, pass back to you. Now pass back to me. Exiles their Troll with an Emperor of Bones. We go Mox Ruby, Uro. Could put this Ancient Tomb into play. Just put the Flood Farm Virgin into play. They don't need to know I have access to extra mana next turn. Can't quite hard cast a Riddler because they don't have double blue. But I do get to cast a Fractured Identity if they do manage to get something big here. They exile my Uro, fair enough. That is pretty good. Maybe I should have just warped a Riddler. All right, get in the Vintage Cube mindset, Eric. We gotta think deeper than I'm used to. Deeper than standard. There are more layers. Whew. All right, I'm focused up now. Tight Magic. Kolagon's Command. I discard a card, and they kill my Mox Ruby. I guess I just discard the Wanshi Tong. Riddler's good enough late game for card advantage anyway. I'm kind of imagining Wanshi Tong more so as like a super late game card draw effect. I think I'm just going to hard cast this Solitude right now. Deal with their Emperor of Bones. Presented a little annoying guy for them to deal with here. Play around possible counter magic, you know. Knight's Whisper. Draw a couple cards. Cosmogran Zenith. Okay. Swing for 3. I could go Zenith, Warp Riddler. That's probably pretty worth it. Orcish Bowmasters. Kill off my Solitude. Fine. So instead I could go Zenith and then Identity the Bowmasters. That's probably a little better. Sorry, Prismatic Ending rather. Make some 1/1s. Pass it back to you. Tapped Xander's Lounge. Pyrogoyf. Still not super familiar with this card. Power is equal to the number of cards, blah, blah, blah. Whenever this creature or another enters, deals power equal... Oh, whoa. Deals damage equal to its power to any target. Wow. Pretty good. Go ahead and Fractured Identity that. Bop them back. I don't have any more Goyfs to work with, but being able to like open up swinging in I think is pretty good. Booster Tutor. Okay, Booster Tutor. Booster Tutor, huh? Fractured Identity plus Ocelot Pride's kind of cool. Need to be able to gain life to really pay that off, though. Probably already have like an Ocelot Pride on the field when I cast the Fractured Identity rather than doing them both in one turn. Still need a second blue source for this Riddler. Basic Plains would be fine. I am down to enough cards in hand to get the extra draw. Opponent's a little stumped by this Booster Tutor. They grab a Hell Rider. Not super good right now. Mill a library. Cast a Hell Rider. Plains. So we get to go... We could just fire up this Restless Prairie. Pretty decent attack. Let's go Plains. Cast this Quantum Riddler. Might as well warp it. Float a colorless like this. Keep up extra green access, I suppose. Wrath of God. Lane Ocelot Pride. City's Blessing. I'm not getting any life, though. Swing for 5. Pass it back to you. Deep Cavern Bat. Well, they get to take a Wrath of God, but doesn't matter super, you know, doesn't super matter here. Alright, I think they kind of like AFK'd. They Deep Cavern Batted me and saw that I had a Wrath of God and then passed. I guess I just fire up the Prairie here. They block. Take a pretty good chunk of damage. Yeah, it seems alright to me. Oh, hold on. I guess if I'm not doing anything else, I might as well play the island first. Swing out. Are you just AFK? Fast forward to them dying? Alright, they're dead. GG. Match 1 in the books. Keep it rolling. Alright, on the draw for game 2. Pretty good opener. We have our green source. We have a Flooded Strand. Might as well lead on the Flooded Strand here. We don't really have anything to grab other than Hollowed Fountain, is that right? We also have a Meticulous Archive. Alright, we'll go for a Surveil. No problem. Consider. Let's keep the Consider on top. And I think I'm just going to go for a Warped Riddler here to get it into exile. Redraw. Consider's nice to be able to double spell with Zenith. Stock up for my opponent. Wrath of God. Could just jam the Zenith here. Kind of force them to answer it. I could also pretend I have interaction. Pretending you have interaction is a pretty strong thing that Azorius gets to do. Kaito. Pretty good. I do have an Aang's Iceberg for it in the future. But Kaito classically is not that good into a board full of tokens. Restless Prairie. Go for the Zenith here. Go for a consider. Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. Well, I'll just put that in my graveyard. No qualms there. Draw into a Time Warp is kind of nasty. Pretty good start from us here, I think. Bitter Triumph on the Cosmic Grand Zenith. Discarding an Atraxa. Necromancy. Well, good thing I have this Wrath of God, I suppose. What do they hit? Force of Will. Yuck! I don't think I can double spell this turn meaningfully. Kind of a nasty Atraxa for them here. Burial Rites too. Block the Kaito. Keep them from being able to draw, I suppose. How do we fight our way back into this? If we draw like Solitude now for the Atraxa? Or a Swords? Swords would be pretty big game. Tishana's Tidebinder. Interesting. I could just go for a Legend of Karuk right now. Try to set up a turn that actually is able to beat what they're doing. I'm going to go for that. They might just let this go. Skip out on these. Otawara. Okay, well that's a way to bounce Atraxa at the very least. That they can't really interact with. I guess we take the damage from Kaito this turn. And it's probably worth it just to block here, I suppose. Liliana. Suppose I'm discarding this Portable Hole. Doesn't seem to be super relevant here. Discards a Grizzlebrand. The Mac Daddy in the graveyard. 20 cards left in their library, though. Could be relevant. Prismatic Ending. I could go for like an ending on the Necromancy. They might just let that happen. Let's skip on both of these. I think I'd rather just try to draw into a Force of Will or a Solitude. 6 mana available. 4 to Otawara. Force of Will. Yeah, I guess I'm just doing the Otawara thing here. Not much else to be done. I can't really bait them into like... Well, hold on. This is 11 damage, right? So if I get them to Force of Will and Anxiceberg and I untap and I get to like Time Warp with the Legend of Karuk on the field, and I have this Restless Prairie, can I like put together a lethal? If I just take this? I mean, they're going to gain quite a lot of life. They might just Force of Will this. I don't think I'm too upset about that. Going to 1 is a little rough for their Restless Fortress situation, maybe. Force of Will. Pitching the Abhorrent Oculus, okay. I don't know. Maybe with the Restless Fortress on the field, do I think about chumping? With the Tishanas? No. Let's just go to 1. I could just like Tishan as this Liliana of the Veil. It's not going to matter too much, but it'll put another body on the field for me for my Time Warp turn. Legend of Karuk flipping also cheapens the Otawara. Iron Shield Elf. Okay. Sheldock Isle. Scary. Containment Priest. Well, too little too late for that. Just a little too late. Play a land. See if this Time Warp resolves. I'm not sure how much work we'll be able to do with it, but it looks like it is resolving. It'd be kind of crazy if I could... Okay, Fire Covenant. Pay X. Deals X damage divided as you choose among any number of target creatures. Interesting. Might as well flash in the Containment Priest here. Get an extra spirit. We Time Warping. Ocelot Pride. So I can play the Uro and also be able to Otawara the Atraxa. Exile Flooded Strand. I don't think my graveyard matters that much in this list. Go for the Uro here. Fractured Identity. I mean, that's pretty good. Go back up to 4 to be able to survive the attack from Restless Fortress. And I can't block with the Spirit, so I might as well just, like, attack something. I guess they make me sacrifice something, and then I sack the token, but they tap down Uro, and I just block with the Elf here. Maybe I'm surviving a turn here. Might as well attack. Let's attack Liliana, I suppose. Keep them from, like, realistically ulting this. Curious to know what they have under their Sheldock Isle, but we put up a fight in the end if we do die here. Fractured Identity, kind of huge. So we sacrifice the Spirit. Sheldock Isle, what you got? Booster Tutor. Okay. What you got? What you got? I love this art, by the way. Why is it so good? Oh, it's like... Oh, I've never actually seen what it is. Just a hand reaching out and stealing a pack from Richard Garfield or whoever. Pretty funny. From the ether. Immaculate fingernails on this hand, by the way. They grab a Virtue of Persistence to be able to kill my Containment Priest. That's pretty good. Kills my Containment Priest, taps down the Uro. Alright, GG. Fun run. Well, I guess we're 1-1 so far, so the run's not over. Fun game. Not much we could do in the end there. Let's just show them we had an idea of a way to survive at the very least. Scoop it up. On to game 3. All right, pretty good opener if we manage to find a green source for Oko. We just need to draw an island to turn it on. I think I'm going to keep this. We can hold up fresh start turn 1 if we want to. I suppose there's no reason not to, really. And maybe we get to, like, Tishana's Tidebinder a fetch by having it out this early. Plains, Retrofitter Foundry, Otawara, not a green source. Not a terrible draw, though. Island, pass. Could just flash in the Tidebinder here and start beating down. Swords to Plowshares. Not sure I want to commit the Otawara quite yet. Plains. Portable Hole. That's fine. Let's just Tidebinder this. Memory Lapse. Put it on top? No. Okay. Well, I do have my third land drop. They may be thinking I don't. Play an Otawara. Pass it back. Urza. Well, I guess we Tidebind the Urza trigger. Keep them off of a construct here. I can also fresh start the... Well, I guess Urza loses all abilities from the Tidebinder. There's a green source. Pass it back. There's a green source, and we can start turning some of their artifacts into elk. So they want their Urza to be online. They're going for a Fractured Identity on my Tidebinder. I guess I just, like, fresh start the Urza. But I guess that gives them the chance of maybe picking it up again in the future. Let's go for the fresh start so that I can hold up swords next turn. After casting this Oko. I could also maybe just think about doing nothing and casting a Wrath of God. Prismatic Ending. Could just ending the Foundry right now. Start making some foods. I think I'm pretty happy to ending the Foundry here. Turns off their Mox Opal as well. Make food. Pest to ya. More like Barocco. Yup, swing in. Suppose we're going for elks. My very first video, by the way, on this channel. Can you believe it? 7 years ago. We've been going strong for 7 years. I know. I know. Well, that's not really true, but it was 7 years ago. Teamer Adventures from Throne of Eldraine Standard. Playing a little, you guessed it, Oko Thief of Crowns. Beautiful stuff. Beautiful stuff. Make us an elk here. +1 to elk, by the way. Absolutely insane. Don't know what they were thinking. Snapcaster to Memory Lapse this. That's pretty good. That's fine. I mean, it's fine. I still have a Day of Judgment. And they can't kill Oko this turn. Sorry, Wrath of God. Cathar Commando. Fine. I mean, this is not an artifact, though. That's pretty good. Urza. But they still can't kill Oko because now they're off Abandoned Air Temple mana. I think they were kind of desperate for an out, and they just, like, took too many actions too quickly without realizing the ramifications. Block. Oh, I don't have double white for Wrath of God. Oh, that's good to know. Maybe I just turn Urza into an elk here then. Or I guess I could just swords it. Make an elk. Or sorry, make a food. Make a food. I guess they can't kill Oko still, even if they like abandon Air Temple. They only have 5 power. Let's go for the Legend of Karuk here. Probably pretty likely to resolve. Find a white source for next turn. Feeling pretty good. I think we can skip on another planes. Karakas. Fine. You can bounce my Legend of Karuk if you want. Time Twister. A little less fine for a guy like me. Time Warp. Surely they have some action by now. Miscalc, not a bad draw in this spot, though, along with our Time Warp. Seems pretty good for next turn. Swinging in at Oko. Ocelot Pride. Interesting. Uro. Interesting. Skip on a Flooded Strand. So what do we do here? I guess we turn Urza into an elk. Could be step 1. Keep them off of that mana for their next turn. They could just bounce Urza with Karakas, though. It's a little annoying. Maybe I go like Uro, Ocelot Pride, and turn this food into an elk and hold up Miscalc. That's probably pretty good. P-Image. Wow. I could do like an Ocelot Pride P-Image thing on their Urza. Make a copy of the construct. But then I don't get to hold up Miscalc. How relevant is Miscalc going to be next turn anyway? Probably not super relevant. Let's go for the P-Image first. See if they let me do this. They could just respond to this by Karakas. Mana Drain. That's fine, I think. I might as well target the Urza with Elk mode at this point. If they want to pick it up, that's not a huge deal, right? Kind of makes them do it, you know what I mean? Play an Ocelot Pride, see if they have an answer for this. Start making some cats. Big kitty energy. Meow. Catholic Commando, don't care. They get 2 extra mana off Mana Drain and a grip full of cards. Urza. We get to flip our Avatar Karuk next turn, and we have a Time Warp in hand. Parallax Wave, pretty good against my kitty cats. Short-lived. Holding up Karakas here. A little extra mana available for them. Killing off Oko. Yeah, I don't really have any recourse for Karakas, huh? And not enough stuff in my graveyard for Uro. I could go like Prismatic Ending on the Portable Hole to then get my Mox Ruby back, cycle the Miscalc, and try to escape the Uro. I could also just go for a Time Warp here to be able to Uro next turn, guaranteed. Might as well. They're thinking about bouncing my Avatar Kuruk, but I kind of think I'd be okay with that. Play an island. Ending the... I mean, I could just ending the portable hole. I'm not sure I'm getting much more out of this currently. I can only do it for x equals 3 anyway. Or 3 colors, rather. They're floating mana. Not sure what for. We get a Mox Ruby back. Moving to the next phase. What you got? Aang Swift Savior. What are you even trying to airbend? Just counter that. I mean, that's pretty nasty stuff with Caracas. Their deck is pretty cool. Wan Chi Tong, kind of a nice draw. Let's go for our Uro here. Lots of spirits. Consider. Put an island on the field. Another land. Swing in for 3. Well, might as well swing in for 7, I suppose. Caracas on the Legend of Karuk. Interesting. I guess I'll just recast it. Probably better than going for Wan Chi Tong or Consider. Fractured Identity. I'm going to assume that's a pretty good draw. Pass it back to you. Parallax Wave on the Uro. I mean, do you have a Time Warp yourself? Is that why you're going for this? Parallax Wave on the Uro. I mean, I guess it'll deal with the Uro forever, but not forever. It'll end up back in my graveyard, you know what I mean? Swinging out. I got nothing for ya. Activating the Abandoned Air Temple seems nice. I could Fractured Identity the Parallax Wave to start cleaning up their stuff. And I'd make a second Parallax Wave in doing so because of my Ocelot Pride. Okay, sack the Cather Commando. Interesting. Let's hold this food for a future Ocelot Pride turn, perhaps. I think this is the play. This is kind of crazy, right? See if they have any interaction for this. So I get my Ocelot Pride back, right? I have a token Parallax Wave. Uro on the stack. I could just exile Uro again with my Parallax Wave right now. It's probably worth doing that. To flicker it again in the future. Definitely going to exile their construct here. No need to exile anything else, I think. Continue to swing in. We gained life from Uro entering. Maybe you could fire up the Restless Vinestalk there. I think I'm just going to play a tapped Hollowed Fountain and pass here. Move to end step. Make another copy of Parallax Wave. Okay, gives us some stuff to work with here. Get lost on Parallax Wave number 2. Is there any reason to flicker anything here? I don't think so. Okay. Pretty funny. When did Celestial Colonnade come onto the field? 2 cards left in their hand. I don't know. We're like way in this, right? It's been a very back and forth game. Fire up the Colonnade. Jamming. I could just exile the Colonnade here. Kind of feels like they want me to. I don't know. I'm just going to fully flash this in. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. X is 6. Jam? You got anything? Nope. Back to me. Fire up this Vine Stalk, I guess. Do I have lethal here if I just exile their Snapcaster Mage or whatever? I think so, probably, right? GG? 2-1? What a game. What a game. Weird stuff, man. Weird stuff. Jam. Big Ocelot pride. I thought they were kind of in it for a little while, to be honest. I was a little scared. But turns out maybe we have a better top end. Fractured Identity, pretty good. Okay. Bounce my Wanchitong. That's fine. That's fine. So we live in, but they also live in. They go down to 2. I guess I could have popped some maps. Maybe I was a little overeager. Could just do like Riddler Ephemerate stuff here. Well, that was my opportunity to like kill Urza forever, right? Skip on a Containment Priest. Could just Solitude the Urza right now. Yeah, I don't know if they're getting back in the game if I do that. They could have a board wipe here. But I also do have Quantum Riddler Ephemerate to rebuild. 9 cards left in my deck. GG. 2-1. All right. Interesting game. Interesting game. Keep it rolling. All right. Match number 4 here. 2-1 on the draw. Pretty good opener. I like that we have Containment Priest to slow down busted stuff. Miscalc as well. No green source for Oko. Sucks that we didn't end up with a land to fetch for. But that's okay. Still worth playing, I think. It's very light splash anyway. Keep this. Rocking the Sparkled Magic or whatever. My Little Pony, but I don't remember what this one's name is. I had like a brony friend in high school, so via osmosis, I picked up on some of the names, but I'll be honest, I don't fucking know, man. Play Plains. Pass it back to you. Caracas. I could just try to jam Oko here. I'm just going to try to jam Oko here. I'm not scared. Create a food. Tishana's Tidebinder. Fair enough. Roll up to a hearty 6, though. Swing at the Oko. Cosmogrand Zenith. Can't really do anything with that quite yet. Might as well just play a... Let's go for a Flooded Strand and try to flash in this Containment Priest to, like, block the Tidebinder and hold up this Miscalc. See if they have to use a good piece of removal on this Containment Priest here. Dismember. Okay. R.I.P. Oko. Crack my fetch. Let's go for a Surveil. Oh, the Surveil is in my hand. That's okay. Back to me. I could just cycle the miscalc there. Whacky Tong seems worth keeping around, I think. Although they do have the Caracas. Maybe not so much. I could just fresh start this to get it out of my life. Thoughtseize. Maybe I just cast a Tidebinder here. Get something on the board, try to start racing them back. I would imagine they take the Cosmogran Zenith, but kind of depends on what's in their hand, I suppose. They might take the Riddler, sure. Overlord. They're saying they don't care about my Cosmogran Zenith. Interesting. Let's go Zenith into just cast this Whacky Tong, I think. It's not going to be super good into their Caracas generally anyway. Well, maybe it is if I just actually get like draws off of it. It'll be worthwhile. I actually don't care about the Tidebinder anymore. I do want to double spell. Is it worth using a fresh start? Probably. I could put counters on my guys and open up an attack here. But making 1/1s is probably better for the future. Could trade a Tidebinder for a flyer here. Sure. Federacia. Swings in for 2. Could just wipe the board here. Sunfall. Fine. Ah, Sunfall. A classic. Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath. A true classic, indeed. Gotta probably cycle this miscalc this turn as well. Pass it back to ya. We need a second green source to escape this Uro. Sunfall Standard. I don't miss it. I don't know why I'm sounding like I do. Let's go ahead and cycle this miscalc. We do have a Swords to Plowshares in our deck that we could hit. Aang's Iceberg. Pretty decent answer here. Suppose we'll go for that. What do you have? You countering this trigger? March of Otherworldly Light. Yeah, that's pretty good. Okay. Go for a redraw. They do just get to bounce this. I might as well do this on their turn, I suppose. Do it in their upkeep. I set the wrong stop. I set the stop in my upkeep. Swing it in. Yeah, we'll take it. Go to 1. Whacky Tong. Draw a card. Solitude. Pretty good draw. Swords to Plowshares. Pretty good draw. Okay. I love it. I love it. Swing for 3. you going to bounce my Wanchi Tong? You may live to regret this. Solitude? Exile Overlord of the Mistmoors? Swords to Plowshares? Exile your 7/7? Are we still in this or what? Are we still in this or what? I know, Old Man Link, it's crazy, bro. Insane top decks. And now I have a Wanchi Tong to work with. Draw some extra cards here. Hope you drew hot, brother. Hope you drew hot. You got Lightning Bolt or what? Bitter Triumph on the Solitude. All right. Island. Well. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, might as well draw 4. Or draw 3. If you want to bounce it again, that is fine by me. Angswift Savior's your last card. They drew hot. No! All right. Deserved. Deserved. I did not deserve to steal that game out of nowhere with Solitude and Swords to Plowshares. 2 and 2. Let's see if we can keep it rolling. Ooh, okay. Match 5 on the play. Great opener. Love to lead on an Ocelot Pride. Pretty much my bread and butter. We also have a Phantasmal Image, which is kind of interesting. Double Ocelot Pride. If we just want to go all in here. Forest. Noble Hierarch. We could copy their Hierarch, open up our mana for next turn, and give Exalted to our Ocelot Pride here. Double Pride might just be better, though. But if I copy the Hierarch, I get to go Wanchi Tong next turn. I'm going to go double Pride. I'm going to go double Pride. Let's just start making a million tokens. See if that's good. Could be. I mean, if they like present any kind of blocker next turn, it is not good, but it could be. We are approaching City's Blessing. We can actually probably do it next turn. Formidable Speaker is a blocker. Confirmed. Discards a Grizzlebrand. Don't love to see that. Definitely don't love to see that. Kind of weird colors for this, though. Forest, Bossing Say, and a Noble Hierarch. Okay. What's like our best draw now? Maybe just removal for the Formidable Speaker to swing in? Or Barrogoyf, Quantum Riddler. Uro would have been pretty good just to gain life. Let's go for the Riddler here. Leave up this white mana in case I draw Swords to Plowshares. Oh. Okay. I'm going to go for this because I want to swing in. I've committed to this line. I want to keep the pressure up. Triggers on the stack here. Make a million tokens. Could be a problem for them. Verdant Catacombs. Do they get to reanimate Grizzlebrand? I know I just ditched my Swords to Plowshares. Bit of a gamble. Barrogoyf. That's not reanimating Grizzlebrand, though. Solitude. Pretty good for next turn. Okay. Well, I guess I just pass here. Play a Flooded Strand and pass. Hold up this Wanchi Tong. Wouldn't mind a Fractured Identity off the top. Undercity Sewers. Fractured Identity would go crazy. No way you swing, right? Go to fetch. They Tidebinder my fetch? That's so funny. Okay. Fair enough. Prismatic Ending on the Barrowgoyf. Kind of big game for us here. It opens up attacks with our little wieners. Kill off the Barrowgoyf. I could swing in with my prides as well. I think it probably just makes sense to swing with the tokens. Put him to 11. Restless Fortress. I would love to know what's in their hand. It must be garbage if they're not just like jamming Reanimate Grizzlebrand, you know what I mean? Or maybe like an Atraxa that they can't quite cast. 5th land, pretty good for us. I guess I just cast this Solitude. I could cast the Solitude, exile a cat, and then trigger both of my prides again for a pretty big board next turn. I might as well swing in with my cats as they are right now. I'm about to make a whole lot more. I could also just like pass and hold up Solitude in case they do manage to put something huge on the board. And then if they don't, I just flash in the Wanshi Tong. I mean, that's probably safer. Yeah, that's probably safer. Wanshi Tong being just a big dumb flyer is going to close out the game anyway. Vault-Born Tyrant. Well, good thing I saved my Solitude. I'm going to go ahead and just kill this right now. They're going to gain a lot of life in the process. But now I have a nice source of lifelink that I can kind of freely trade off. Containment Priest, also a pretty good draw here. They have to kill the Solitude. Might as well swing with some tokens as well. Let's continue to hold up this Containment Priest. Trigger our Ocelot Brides. Big tokens. Pass it back to you. What are they thinking about? What are you thinking about? Snuff out. Oh. Well, you probably shouldn't have let me put this trigger on the stack. Oops. Oops, in it. Concealed Courtyard. Mind Twist. I guess I just flash in the Containment Priest, right? Rather than go for the Wanshi Tong. Because then I just get to refill my hand with Riddler next turn anyway. And this keeps them from reanimating in the future. I guess I also just get to play the Wanshi Tong for one. Yeah, why not? Here we are. Not a great Mind Twist. Mox Ruby. Might as well play the Ruby first, in case I draw a relevant like 1 mana effect here. I think we'll hold up the Willow Rush Verge. Although I do have Ephemerate in my list. That's probably better than Consider, as far as like future prayers go. I know I have a Containment Priest on the field, but something to consider. Double draw. Ah, there's the Consider. Guessed wrong. Swinging like this. Infinite cats. Fire up the Restless Fortress. You got it, dude. You freaking got it, dude. GG? Atraxa? Ah! Okay, what else you got? I don't think they're hitting anything relevant here. So, GG. Interesting list, though. Just kind of good stuff, but their mana base situation seems a little rough. It's almost like they built this in such a way where they felt like, hey, maybe eventually I just get to cast Atraxa. And it's like, I guess so, but I don't think you want to like will that into existence. Flash is interesting with Quantum Riddler. It's not good, but it's interesting. It is I who is Atraxa. Flash? Okay. Quantum Riddler, do you have... Oh, what? Oh, Containment Priest. Right. Great. Time Warp. Oko. Otawara. Aang's Iceberg. Tishana's Tidebinder. All assembled in a holy, combination. Swing out. Kill you. GG. On to the next one. All right, match 6 on the draw. Pretty good opener. Definitely going to keep this. I like turn 1 Pride, turn 2 Priest here with options. We could do the Phantasmal Image on the Ocelot Pride thing again. It kind of worked out. It didn't have any right to work out. We got a little lucky with our top decks, I think. But it did work out last game. Maybe it'll work out again. Gonna keep this. Turn 1 Misty Rainforest. Turn 1 Ocelot Pride. Big fan of this card personally. I play it in Modern. I will admit. I play a dumb bruise with it. I don't play Boros Energy or whatever. I will agree that it is kind of busted if it does its thing, but it's also attackable. If you want to be good against it, you definitely can be, you know. Just play Pyroclasm 5-head. I don't know. Did they just get an Ancestral Recall off of their booster tutor? That's pretty disgusting. That's pretty disgusting. Start swinging with the Ocelot Pride here. Felia. I guess I'll just fresh start the Felia here. A little annoying. They still get to block, but I'll still keep my Ocelot Pride around and make a token. See what they decide to do. They might just rip Ancestral Recall. I'm not sure that I can beat Ancestral Recall, to be honest with you. Just generally speaking. They also have a Mox Ruby. Aang's Iceberg. On the fresh start. Okay. Interesting. What are they planning on doing with this here? Flickering their Mox Ruby. Okay. Interesting. Or flickering the cat. Doesn't super matter either way, I suppose. Kind of wish we had ended up with a Felia. Would be nice with our Riddler. Reset their Mox Ruby. Counter on the Felia. Hollowed Fountain. If we warp in the Riddler and Phantasmal Image it, I think we get to keep the second one, right? They can just target the P image with the Felia, though. A little annoying. Might as well swing in. I could P image their Felia, but then they just target the P image with the Felia. I guess we warp a Riddler here. Not much else to be done, and then plan to flash in the Containment Priest, I suppose. Consider. All right. Pass it back. Trigger the Pride. Make another token. Getting closer to City's Blessing. Fires off the Ancestral Recall. It's a hell of a drug. I could go for a Containment Priest here, but I'd kind of rather try to catch them off guard. They're way ahead on resources. If I just try to play out my hand, I think they'll beat me in that game. Kind of feel like I need to find a trick here. Swing in with the Felia. I would imagine they just start eating my cats. It is what dogs be doing. R.I.P. All right, into the end step here. Let's go for the Containment Priest, I guess. No response from them. We could just try to go for a Time Warp here. Let's hold up this Otawara as we move into combat. Swing out. I suppose there's a world where they have nothing but lands in hand. It doesn't seem super likely to me. Containment Priest on the field turns their Felia into like a nasty dog. A nasty dog man. Kind of something to think about for us. Maybe we just have to Otawara the Felia then. Not really something I considered when I cast this Containment Priest. I'm also kind of close-ish to this City's Blessing. Maybe I do just go for a Time Warp here. Yeah. I'm just going to Time Warp here. They might just counter it and absolutely ranch me. No. It kind of feels like they have nothing. Great. I'm color me shocked. Color me shocked. Well, let's go for a consider. Maybe we can find an answer to this Felia in the meantime. We'll skip on a land, even though it's a green source and we don't have one. Wrath of God. Could just go P image on the Ocelot Pride now. Kind of go crazy. I think that is best into this, like, the setup that we currently have here. Forces them to actually just have a board wipe, basically. Forces them to have a board wipe. They sacrifice the Aang's Iceberg. Well, we'll put Fresh Start on the Felia here. They might have a board wipe, by the way they're sacrificing this Aang's Iceberg. Would make sense. Bottom two cards. Maybe they're trying to dig for one and they don't currently have one in hand. Retrofitter Foundry. Well, we don't care about that. Are they dead? Color me shocked. You must have garbage in your hand. Color me shocked. I'm over here trying to play around any little possible thing that they could have. And it turns out they just have nothing. They have Retrofitter Foundry. And block, 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 but they're dead to this. They can't block all of my 8 cats. GG. Weird stuff, man. Really, that played out so weirdly. I thought for sure after their Ancestral Recall that they would have anything. Turns out they had nothing. Move it into the next one. Match number 7 on the draw. Not the best hand in the world, but not awful. I like the Ancient Tomb Time Warp situation. Thraben Inspector. The Inspector has arrived. Wrath of God could be good. We don't currently have double white. Do we skip on a Prismatic Ending? It doesn't really add anything to our hand when we already have this Aang's Iceberg. Elegant Parlor, swing in for 1. Consider. Might as well hold up the Containment Priest here. Could just go for a cheeky block if they're a little more aggressively slanted. Could pay off in the future. Yeah, why not? Little cheeky block. Do you care about this Containment Priest generally? Nope, they shock it. And maybe they do care about it, I don't know. Smuggler's Copter. So it is a little more of an aggro slant. Cosmogrand Zenith, Ancient Tomb, consider. I mean, it's pretty good. With a little Time Warp backup, it's pretty good. Let's go for it. Hey, yeah. And we can put an Uro, Titan of Nature's Wrath, into our graveyard for free? Sure. Why not? I mean, I'm not casting it really anytime soon. With this tapped Restless Vinestalk and whatnot. Might as well just kind of play toward extra counters on these guys into Time Warp. Fire up the Copter, swing it on in. Evora, Insatiable Air. Ugly ass Vampire. Clues and Bloods. Double white. We can't double spell this turn. Might as well just go for the Vinestalk. In case we draw Oko, we could go like Oko Angzeisberg next turn. Crack back here. I think I can I'll just swing with the Zenith. Seems okay. Hold up this Angzeisberg. I think I might just Angzeisberg the Copter on their turn. Sacrifice the blood. Draw into something. Discarding a land. I might end up just casting a Wrath of God, though. Like, if they overcommit to the board next turn, could be kind of huge for us. Fire up the Copter. Resolves. Before they attack, go for the Angzeisberg. Gonna cost us a little health, but this card selection and plus the, like, buffing the Evora in combat is a little annoying. So now I can double block Evora. It has trample, so if they have a way to kill one of my tokens prior to damage. But, yeah, that tells me they don't. Showdown of the Scalds. Pretty good. Ew. What the fuck is this? What is this? It's Comet, Stellar Pup, 0. Roll a 6-sided die. Oh my god. I ain't reading all that. I don't think I've ever seen this before in my life. What? Okay. Back to me. Oko, Thief of Crowns. Hey, that's pretty good. That is pretty good. I mean, I could just start turning my human soldiers into elk. Set up for a little Time Warp action. Sure, why not? Probably better long term to do this. Probably makes sense to just hold back blocks against this Corey Steelcutter situation. Comet Stellar Pup, huh? Makes squirrels with haste, or return a card with mana value 2 or less from your graveyard to your hand. It's so specific. I guess it gets back your fetches at the very least. 4 or 5, deals damage equal to the number of loyalty counters on him to a creature or player, then -2. Oh. Oh, or you high roll into a 6 and keep going. Crazy. Okay. Pretty funny. Well, we're seeing Comet do its thing. Go on, Comet. Do your thing, boy. What you got? Not 6. 4. 4 is 5 damage to something? Ah! Okay. Pretty good. 2 attackers. RIP Cosmogran Zenith. Back to me. Mox Ruby. Mox Ruby is secretly an elk, which is not bad. So I could swing at Comet here. They probably trade. I could go like elk onto this soldier and then swing into Comet, and then they have to give up some stuff to do that. And then I could time warp and try to deal with Comet once and for all. Or I could -5. Exchange control of target artifact or creature you control and target creature and opponent controls with power 3 or less. I could get a Corey Steelcutter. Give them a soldier, grab the Corey Steelcutter, and then time warp Mox Ruby. I think that probably makes sense long term. It's giving up Oko, which is not necessarily what I like to do. Maybe we just like make a food, time warp, and then go for that next turn. Make a food, time warp. Pass it back to ya. And by back to ya, I mean back to me. Activate Oko. Exchange control of my food and your... Oh, your creature. So I don't get their Steel Cutter, but I can take them off of blockers at the very least. Might as well take Evora here. Okay, well that's not nearly as good. I thought I got to steal their Corey Steel Cutter, clearly. Oops, in it. Let's just hard cast this Riddler here. Head into the danger zone. Get a little redraw going. Into some planes. Swing at Comet. They're going to have to give something up here. Double block. And kill off the monk. On account of the prowess. Pass it back to ya. Well, we're untapping with a pretty good board at the very least. Not the cleanest play, I'll admit. Could be enough. Cosmogran Zenith of their own. Showdown of the Scalds triggering. Do they have a second spell? Kind of seems like they do. Mishra's Bauble. Pretty good second spell. We also still have this Wrath of God. So we might just be able to deal with their Comet next. Like, deal with the Comet with the Riddler and then Wrath of God. Comet rolls a 6! No! No! 5? Oh, Lord. Don't you point that gun at me, dog. Don't you point that gun at me, Comet. Don't you stick that knife in your leg. Oh, no. Oh, no. Kills off that. I didn't expect that. Rolling again. 6. Oh, no. Oh, no. Oh, no, no, no. 1. Is that good? You make squirrels with haste? 4. Is that good? More damage? You might as well just shoot me. I'm at 2. Well, if I'm going to lose to anything, I guess I'm happy to lose to Comet. We had a good run. GG. All right. 4 wins. Not the worst. Not the best. I had fun. Hope you had fun too. Let's open some packs real quick. GG Comet. Interesting card. Definitely going to have to try that next time. All right. Got a random assortment of packs here. Let me know if you like this video. I have enough gems to run another one, but this will be my last video until, well, you'll see this, but I'll just be coming back from vacation when you see this, I suppose. So, yeah, perfect time to let me know if you'd like to see more of this. I'll hold on to my gems. Yeah, thanks for watching. Mostly I post standard content if you're new here, so if you're into standard content, subscribe, please. That'd be awesome. That'd be great. Come on back. Hope you had fun watching this run. Appreciate you. Hope you have a beautiful day, and I'll catch you on the next one. Bye-bye.